Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Andrea. If you are new, today's video I am going to be answering some questions about my pregnancy. Also, I'm recording on my new camera, so I hope that this is in focus. But I did a Instagram Q&A on my Instagram page, profile, whatever, and asked you guys what questions you had for me pertaining to my pregnancy. So if you are new here, I have a 3-year-old little boy, and then I am currently pregnant with twins. So it's like not my first rodeo, but in a way it is my first rodeo because I've never had twins before. So I wanted to know like what kind of things you guys are curious to know. And also, if you're not following me on Instagram, I will put my handle right here so you guys can follow me over there. But without further ado, I guess let's just dive right into these questions. Okay, so the first question is, what are you most nervous for when the twins come / what are you most excited for? So probably what I'm most nervous for is the birth. Because typically with twins, they can, like, because they're high risk and there's 2 in there, you can have them early. So the doctors have already told me that they do not let twin pregnancies go past 38 weeks, which I think is completely fine. I mean, they are considered full term at that point. But of course, I am nervous or worried or scared that they will come earlier than that. I know a lot of people who have had twins, and I've read a lot of twin birth stories, and it's all across the board. I mean, you know, I've seen where they come as early as 30 weeks, where they come 38 weeks, where you have to be induced, where they come naturally. I'm also nervous to have another C-section. I am going to try to have a VBAC, which if you don't know is a vaginal birth after a C-section, because I did unfortunately was basically forced to have a C-section with my son by the doctor on call, which is a different story for a different day. I will probably do a labor and delivery story from Manny's birth just because I think it's important to share it. And now that I've kind of worked through some of that trauma, I think I am ready to share it. But I am nervous to have another C-section with 2 babies. Luckily, Matt will be home with me a lot longer than he was last time because he was home for literally a week and then went back to work. So with the twins, it'll be longer. So I will have a lot of help, which I will need, obviously, because I have 2 babies. But I'm just worried about like the recovery from that if I do end up having a C-section, which most likely I will. What am I most excited for? I just think it'll be really cool to just have twins, like have 2 babies, like to see them together and like watch them grow together. So I think it'll just be really cool to just like have 2 babies and like watch them learn and grow, and like their bond together I think will be really cool. Okay, question number 2. What are you most excited to eat or drink after pregnancy? So this is a loaded question. So if you guys don't know, I have major food aversions this pregnancy, which I'm blaming the pregnancy, but I'm also blaming having COVID back in January on. So I'm looking forward to a lot of things because I cannot eat any meat. I cannot eat onions. I cannot eat garlic. I cannot eat like a lot of different like chocolate and like sweet type things. So I'm definitely looking forward to like a hot dog, a hamburger, like a big juicy cheeseburger, tacos. And as far as like drinks go, I have not been able to drink coffee, and I'm really looking forward to being able to drink like iced coffees again because I've had like a huge coffee aversion. I tried to drink some iced coffee that I made at home over the weekend, and it just It wasn't it. It did not taste good. And it made me feel like crap for like the rest of the day. And obviously, I'm not a huge drinker, but it is nice to go out and have a drink with friends, or, you know, if you've had a long day, have a glass of wine. I don't really miss that, but it will be nice to like have that option again, because obviously I don't have it right now. Oh, and sushi, like real sushi. I've been eating a lot of like vegetable sushi while I've been pregnant, which it does the trick, but I miss like just good old-fashioned sushi. The next question is, who are you the most excited to tell? So obviously Matt. I was nervous. I was really nervous because like when I found out I was having twins, and the doctor didn't even come into the room after to like talk to me about it, and I was just kind of like left to my own devices. I was nervous to tell him because I didn't really know how he would respond. I knew that he would be excited because he's always wanted a lot of kids. Like when we first got together, he was like, I want 6 kids. And I was like, homie, you're tripping. But aside from him, obviously I was like the most excited to tell my sisters, because I knew that they would like flip out and like be over the moon, like, oh my God, like so like just mind blown like I was. So between like Matt and my sisters, those were the 2 people I was probably the most excited to tell. The next question is, does Manny understand that you have 2 babies in your belly? So yes, he does understand that there's 2 in there, but I don't think he really understands the concept of pregnancy. But he is like so sweet. He like kisses my belly and he says, oh, I just love those babies so much. And he'll like rub my belly and all that stuff, and it's just like the cutest thing in the world. So I think he like understands as much as a 3-year-old can that there's 2 babies in my belly, but I don't think he grasps the full concept of like, I'm pregnant and there's like 2 live beings inside of my belly. The next question is, what was your reaction to having twins? What was Matt's reaction? Well, I mentioned this a little bit in a previous video, but I was like very, very nervous. I think I was nervous and unsure and like anxious and worried more than I was excited in the beginning, just because I don't know, twins is just like you're high risk, and you like have, you know, you run into the possibility of like complications and things like that, which I am thankful, because they are di twins, which means they have their own placentas and their own sacs. They are at the lower end of the risk as far as twin pregnancies go. So my reaction was very like emotional. Matt, on the other hand, he was like super excited, super happy. Like I said before, he's always wanted like a big family and a lot of kids. And I mean, we decided pretty early on that 6 was not going to be for me, just because I never wanted 6 kids. So we kind of compromised, and, you know, we said like 2 or 3, because he already has 1. He has a son, my stepson, and then we have Manny, and then now we'll have 2 little girls, so he'll have 4. So he's like kind of, you know, over halfway there to his like wanting of 6 kids. But yeah, he's been really excited. He has helped me try to stay focused on the positive of it, as opposed to like all the dreadful things that my brain tends to like gravitate towards, because he's so excited and happy. The next question is the differences between this and your singleton pregnancy. Everything, every freaking thing. Between the food aversions, the tiredness, the pain. I mean, everything has came so much sooner than it did with Manny's pregnancy. And like Manny's pregnancy, like it definitely came with its own challenges, but for the most part, it was kind of a breeze. I mean, don't get me wrong. We had a couple of scares with him. He had a heart murmur, which cleared up, thankfully. I had SPD really bad. I mean, it definitely came with its own challenges, but this pregnancy has been a lot more difficult physically and mentally. and it's came with a lot more challenges. So there's definitely been like huge differences. Okay, the next one is what's been the hardest part of this pregnancy. In the beginning, it was definitely the morning sickness. I was so freaking sick all the time. And I mean, it started at like 9 weeks and did not let up until like 17 weeks or something, like 16, 17 weeks. It was really rough, and it was like wearing on my mental health, and like I couldn't go anywhere because I was like so sick and just exhausted. And then over the last few weeks, I've passed like 2 kidney stones. You guys probably know if you follow me on social media, but I've had back-to-back kidney stones, which is sort of pregnancy related because they do increase like your probability of them when you're pregnant. Again, I was like down for the count, couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do anything. I was in a lot of pain. I was having contractions. So that part of it, like I had like a few good weeks where I was like feeling pretty good, and then I was knocked back down on my ass again. But thankfully I passed both the stones, and I am starting to feel a little bit better. I do have a little bit more energy. It's not a lot. I have to reserve it as much as possible. So those have been like the hardest parts of this pregnancy, which I passed kidney stones when I was pregnant with Manny too. I did have a little bit of like morning sickness, food aversions in the very beginning, but by the second trimester it was like done and over with. But I also had gestational diabetes with him, which I don't know if I'm gonna have with this pregnancy yet. So that was like a whole, like again, it came with its own challenges, and that was like a whole different ball game. But those have been the hardest things that I've dealt with so far. Okay, will you do a twin collab with me? So this is from my friend Rachel. If you don't follow her or you're not subscribed to her, her name is Rachel Moster. She also has twins. Her twins are boy-girl, and they are a year old, and they're so freaking cute. And of course I will do a twin collab with you. You don't even have to ask, just sign me up. Okay. The next one is, what excites you most about having twin girls? So happy and proud of you. Thank you. That's so sweet, Whitney. What excites me the most about having twin girls? So before Manny, I really wanted a girl, and I was like really excited about like dressing like a little girl up, and like bows in the hair and cute little dresses. So I think that part of it is going to be the most exciting for me, is like having that like girly, because like I don't consider myself like super girly, but I do have girly tendencies. So I think like dressing up 2 little girls would be really cute. And also just seeing like their bond with Manny, because I think he's going to be such a good big brother. And way back when, like when I was younger, I was like, I want a boy and then a girl, and like, you know, have the big brother, typical like big brother relationship. So I think it'll be really cool to like see that unfold as the years go by. Okay, so the next like 4 questions all pertain to the same thing. So it says like, have you guys thought of names? Have you picked out names? Any name ideas? So yes, we have names, sort of. We pretty much are sold on the first names. We're still undecided about the middle names, but I think we have it nailed down for the most part. But I also know that with Manny, it was like the last trimester when I finally like nailed down his middle name. So much like with his pregnancy and birth, we will not be announcing the names until the girls are here. Sorry. I know that is like a bummer to some people, but that's just the way we prefer to do it. People can be very judgmental when it comes to like their opinions on things. And even our families, like we told them, I think we told them like towards the end of the pregnancy what the name was going to be, just because like some people wanted to do like what is it called, monogrammed type things, gifts or whatever. So we will probably tell family towards the end, but as of right now, we're going to keep it till the end and not announce until they're born. Are they identical or fraternal? So they're technically fraternal, but I did read and I have heard from some other twin moms that even if they are die, they could still be identical. I don't know how true that is. I think it's a very, very small chance, but they will look more like siblings, I think, than like, you know, have the exact same features. They may look in, well, I did have a 3D ultrasound or 4D ultrasound, and just, they're still very tiny, but just based on that, they do look different. They do have different features. So I don't think that they're going to be identical. I think that they are going to be fraternal. The next question is, will you have to do a C-section? So as I mentioned before, it is a high probability unless both of them are head down. But even then, you run the risk of baby B, which is the baby at the top, getting into distress and having to deliver one vaginally and one through C-section. And I don't want to have to recover from 2 births. So, I mean, things have to be lined up perfectly for me to be like, okay, let's try for a VBAC. But most likely I will have to have a C-section. Okay, the next question is, do you know which is which? So, yes, I do know which baby is which. They do kind of like move around a little bit, but I know typically baby A is on the left and is lower, and baby B is on the right and is higher. Now, there are times when they're like side by side, or they can be kind of like this, or yin and yang, but typically they stay, baby A is always closest to the cervix, and then baby B is kind of like on top. Okay, the next question is, do twins run in your family? We do have a couple of twins in our families, but because of the type of twins that they are not like your typical genetic twins. Like in my case, I just ovulated 2 eggs and 2 eggs got fertilized and now we have twins. So, you know, with the, I guess like more genetic type twins, I guess they can still be fraternal, but usually it's 1 egg and then it splits, I think. I'm probably not getting that 100% correct just because like those are not the kind of twins I'm having, so I haven't done like a lot of research into that. But in my case, no, the twins are not genetic, so they don't like, quote, you know, run in the family. But twins, like you can have twins regardless. Like you can have twins if they run in your family, or you can have twins if they don't. So really it's like a 50-50 shot of if you're gonna have twins. Okay, the next question is, do you feel more movement with twins than you did with your singleton, basically? So with Manny, I did not start feeling movement until about 14, I think it was 14 or 15 weeks. And it was just light little flutters. Like if you know, you know, like people say, oh, it's gas, but I've never had gas that felt like that in my entire life. So, you know, but with this pregnancy, I felt those like flutters around like 11 or 12 weeks. And then I started feeling like the bigger kicks, probably around 15 weeks. And then now that I'm almost 24 weeks, I can like see the kicks, feel the kicks, like Matt can feel the kicks, Manny can feel the kicks. So I definitely feel like I felt things sooner, but that could also just be because it is my second pregnancy. And I know that that happens like with singleton pregnancies too, like you do feel things earlier. So it could just be a combination of it being my second pregnancy and being a twin pregnancy that I was able to feel them sooner. And the last question is, what's in your hospital bag and have you packed it yet? I have not. I'm only 24 weeks or almost 24 weeks. I probably should pack it sooner than later just to be prepared. God forbid if I was to go into early spontaneous labor. But I probably will do a video of what's in my hospital bag and show you guys like what I'm going to pack. When I was going into the hospital with Manny, I packed so much stuff that I did not even touch. So I'm gonna have to like really rethink like what I packed in his bag and decide if I am going to like switch it up and not pack as much. But I also didn't get to do a lot of the stuff that I planned to do in the hospital because the recovery was like really hard for me. And I was like pretty medicated the first like couple of days because I was in the hospital for 3 days, which is kind of normal for C-section deliveries. But this time I want to be like a little bit more present and prepare a little better because I do plan to vlog this birth. Obviously, if I do end up having a C-section, I don't know if I'll actually get to vlog in the operating room, which I'm pretty sure you can't, but we'll have to see. I definitely will take pictures though, because we took lots of pictures with Manny's birth as well. But I will have a what's in my hospital bag video coming out hopefully in the next few weeks. And then I do have some other pregnancy content coming up, so make sure you are subscribed if you're not already. I really appreciate like all the new subscribers that I've gotten, and I think you guys are probably here for the pregnancy content, so I will be having some more videos coming out soon. And I'm also going to be doing some fun collabs with some other pregnant mamas, so stay tuned for that. But like I said, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Give this video a big like. If you have any other questions about pregnancy or twin pregnancy, leave them in the comment section down below. And until next time, thanks for being my kind of weird.